From the darkness into the light comes Governor, or we'll call him Cactus Pete. And my name is Carl Franzoni. I'm a prompter and I'm a member of this C Media. What do you think about the local council meetings about Colleen Furnell and Chris Corsi and Mr. Reinhardt?
Well, good afternoon, Carl, and here we are, Governor Cactus Pete and Captain Carl O. With the local news. I watched the questions that they had with the Women's Forum just the other day, and I got to tell you that I'm a bit more radical than they are, but I like Colleen Furnald. As a matter of fact, I think that she would do a real interesting job on not only the council, but as the mayor. She asks questions that are extremely pertinent that everybody pretends doesn't exist. And what could be more important than the situation surrounding the water issue? Right. You know, I mean, she's emphasized what other people have brought forward about the pollution, the lack of water, the chemtrails, which is the Monsanto 20-year terraforming project where they've been just filtering down for 2 decades now a variety of chemicals into the water and onto the land. They've changed the pH of the soil. They've altered the water. Carl, we've had fish kills all over the place. Including, I think, Lake Mendocino. They had a big, huge carp kill-off where they tried to explain with some ridiculous scenario. I mean, carp are the hardest fish in the world to kill, and they all were dead, thousands of them. And we just, the media just kind of disregards it pretty much, and then they say something else happened. But Colleen Furnald is right. She's talking about, you know, why aren't these things being talked about regarding all the chemicals, and she asks other really good questions, Carl.
Yeah. What do you think about the other 2 candidates that I mentioned?
Well, this fellow Reinhardt, I don't know that well. I saw him answer a few questions. He seems rather confident. I try to view things from a different angle. I saw about how the media and the Press Democrat were trying hard to not even let him into the race.
Oh, is that right?
And whenever you see someone being put down and quieted, then you know that you got somebody that's actually saying something worthwhile. Yeah. So I would, for that reason alone, I would at least give him a fair look-see. And then the third guy you're talking about is that radical writer from the Press Democrat. He was so radical they pushed him out of the Press Democrat, Chris Corsi. And he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's an intelligent fellow. He's got a strong background in American history. Yeah. I'm not talking about the baloney version that the schools are teaching, but I'm talking about for real. Yeah. And so those are 3 people that I see worthwhile voting for. Look into them. And participate more in some of the upcoming events that'll be evaluating all 3. So just real quick, you know, I don't want to discount anybody because I think everybody has something to say. But you know, when it comes to politics, I think it is crazy, and I can't wait to get home either. Yeah. But you know, you got Curtis Byrd, and he's you know. He's doing his best, and you got Lee Pierce, who's been there before, and of course
the lawyer talks too much.
You got another lawyer. We don't need any more lawyers, so we're not even going to talk about that one.
And the cops sitting in each other's lap.
We got John Sawyer, and we all know who John Sawyer represents. I see. We all know who John Sawyer represents. He represents the booksellers. He's
Yeah.
he's a former bookstore owner,
Right.
and which means he's done some reading, and in his reading he's gained some knowledge. But it's not exactly what they teach in college. And then we got the former police chief Tom Schwedhelm. And I believe he's probably sincere in trying to make a difference. And, you know, there's always more that's unseen that is seen. And so we should always keep that in mind. But I like Colleen Fernald.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Please, the mayor. She should be the mayor. I like her a lot. And the other two that you're talking about, you're right about what you said about them. Exactly. The man from the Press Democrat has lots of experience and knows this town very well. That's what I saw. And the other man seems to be a strong character that we need. And what you said about, you know, when you can't you can't get them to be what you think they are, but they're good people. That's what I feel about them. They're good people.
Well, I agree, and you know, the one thing that people get frustrated with is now, you know, they're being asked questions and they're responding, but then whenever anybody gets to City Hall and addresses them, they're mute. They rarely respond to you unless you have some sort of prearranged
these
thing.
people would respond, I think so.
I think you're right, and so, you know, the other thing is, let's talk briefly about some of the bigger issues that they were addressing, and that was the annexation of Roseland, and we did briefly talk about the water. But tell me what you think about Roseland. Shouldn't it be annexed and be part of the city?
That should be part of the city because it's economical. It's economics. The Mexican and anybody that lives there needs to support whatever is going on here. They are backbone people, and they march for good things. I see that they're marching for good things, and I think in the park on Saturday, or is it Sunday? I think it's Saturday. There's going to be a pretty good turnout there at Juilliard Park.
What's going on at Juilliard Park, Carl?
Juilliard Park has got, they've asked a lot of people to come there. No marching, just come to the park. They'll talk about the boy that got shot, and they'll talk about other things. They have a lot of people that are going to talk. I hope these people that are on the city council will come there too and voice what they have to say.
I think that's a very good idea. As a matter of fact, we're going to try and make it a point to get this conversation out the next 2 days. And what you're talking about is this right here. I don't know. I think we can't do that very well. But anyways, what this is the 100,000 Poets for Change. Actually, it does say March, but it does emphasize that they're going to meet at Juilliard Park on the 12th, 12 o'clock at noon. And have a number of events. I see at least 10 different things that will be going on, but I don't see any of the city council people there, although I believe it would be a good bet to see someone like the bicycle czar. Gary Wysocki will probably be there. He shows up. He's done. Yeah. I'm sorry that he's so frustrated.
Is he going to stay on the city council? Do you know?
I hope so. You know, he's a thumbs up guy, and he keeps being dissed by the money people, and I don't like that. And as a matter of fact, that's another reason to general strike is to shut down the money corruption, because he's done a lot of good stuff, and they came up with that phony scenario so that he would be not chosen to be the financial guy that they
that's
had
right.
He should have been the financial guy.
Of course he should. And what about the woman that the woman, I forget her name, she's on the council too, and she's a very important person because she goes with the community and tells us what it's all about.
Are you talking about Julie Combs?
Yes.
Julie Combs has done a lot of good work, I agree, and you know, the perception always has been that it's been, the city council has been divided, almost always in favor of business and money behind the scenes and in front of us. versus those that are trying their best to support the issues and concerns of the local residents. Yeah. And that's what I see with Julie Combs and Carl Wysocki. Now, I certainly hope that Colleen Fernald will be there on Saturday.
Yeah.
And also
maybe Zane will too. Or,
Shirley Zane.
Or Mike Thompson.
I'm
sure they will be.
You know, I like Shirley Zane. I like pretty much everybody on the supervisors, and I don't want to cast negatives on anybody because we're all in this boat together.
Yeah.
You know.
So what about Oakland? Didn't you tell me there's something going on in Oakland, California, and with Teamsters on the docks?
Well, let me tell you, Carl, this is the third time in 2 years that they're looking to shut down part of the port of Oakland. And this time, as was happened about, maybe a month ago, it has to do with the Palestine issue. But you know, Carl, I've gone and I've spoken to a lot of people here since that was made public. And, you know, anybody can look it up by looking up on the internet. Google SF Bay Indy calendar and just scroll to the 27th, and you'll see that they're going to be there at 4:30 in the morning and then I think at 4 in the afternoon to shut down the 2 different shifts of longshoremen working because it has to do with some particular Israeli associated ship that is docking, and so their perception is if they stop this one ship, it'll make an impact with what's going on in Palestine. And it's not exactly true, but it's a start. I mean, it's like being being part of a firefighting crew, and we're called to a fire, and there's the fire, and we just start to squirt the water on the fire for like 2 minutes, and then pack up the hoses and go away. You don't stop doing the action until you achieve what you seek to attain. Don't you agree?
Yes, I agree with what you're saying.